You see, it's largely not a good thing for people to be excited about the fact that somebody has passed or the news about the death or demise of somebody. But it's also instructive to note that there are people who are dead, who are not rested in peace, and there are people who think that they are never going to die because of the position that they have in living on earth. I mean, you and I know how difficult it is to navigate the Nigerian police in Nigeria. How difficult the Nigerian police can be because they're either holding a gun or because they're wearing a uniform or because they feel they can oppress people. In fact, part of the reasons why Nigerian youth went on the streets in 2020 to speak against the brutality of the Nigerian police was because of the heightened harassments the Nigerian youth have faced in the hands of the Nigerian police. And so because of that, NSAS happened. NSAS happened. It changed a few things. Certain police started, realizing that anything can happen to them. In fact, we had of a number of policemen who were killed at that period. But, I mean, it looks like that experience really never taught us anything because some are back to their old skin. Anyways, that will be another story for another day. But there's this particular story that I'm seeing that is quite profound. Profound in so many ways. Like I said, like if somebody dies, you would say, well, don't speak about the death or don't speak ill about the death. But sometimes people who die somewhat deserve their deaths, or people who they may have done ill to, must have prayed against their living on earth, and trust me, not everybody who is dead is actually in some way or another, not everybody is resting in peace. Now, let me tell you about the story of a Nigerian policeman who have passed away, CSP Ekene Nwosu, who have died, and there is this widespread jubilation about the death of somebody. When there's a widespread jubilation of the death of somebody, there's no way on earth that that person could be about a very good person in every right, frankly speaking. Now, let me just tell you the story. The death of CSP Ekene Nwosu, a police officer previously attached to the Akwa Ibom State Police Command, has sparked widespread jubilation among Nigerians. Ekene, the former officer in charge of the anti-robbery squad in Akwa Ibom State Police Command, was described by many as rogue policeman. Since the news of his death, Nigerians have been celebrating, with many recounting their ordeal and terrible experiences in his hands. Many allege that the deceased, who died on Friday, was infamous for subverting the law, oppressing innocent Nigerians, and using his office to punish and prosecute innocent citizens. Described by many as the devil, others allege that Ekene was also a wheeling tool used by politicians to oppress the masses in Akwa Ibom State. Speaking on the death of the policeman, human rights lawyer Inibehe Efyong described Ekene as the devil. Efyong, in a statement on Facebook Saturday, also added that he was a despicable human being, a murderous and callous policeman who went to the extremes to dehumanize his many victims. Recounting his ordeal in the hands of the rogue policeman, Efyong mentioned that the power-drunk Ekene had no respect for lawyers, human rights, and court judgments. He says, quote, "I have read about the death of CSP Ekene Nwosu, the former OC of the anti-robbery squad in Akwa Ibom State Police Command Headquarters," Efyong wrote. "Since the news of his demise broke, a lot of people have been celebrating, with many recounting their ordeals and terrible experiences in the hands of Ekene. Those who are against the celebration of his death are entitled to their opinions. The Ekene Nwosu I knew and had occasions to confront was a devil, a despicable human being, a murderous and callous policeman who went to the extreme to dehumanize his many victims." Efyong further stated Ekene is a perfect example of a rogue police officer. He subjected innocent people in Akwa Ibom to the most barbaric forms of dehumanization. He had no respect for lawyers, he had no respect for human rights, and held the judiciary in contempt. The court found him culpable for the violation of the rights of citizens in many cases, including the ones handled by our law firm in Uyo. The fact that such a despicable person was allowed to continue in service despite many complaints against him speaks to the rot in the police. Ekene had so much power in the state. Successive commissioners of police failed to checkmate him, partly because he was a mercenary for oppressive and corrupt politicians in Akwa Ibom State. I am reliably informed that Ekene celebrated the death of the immediate past CP, who finally ensured that he was transferred to Ekiti State, where he died yesterday. Politicians used him to target people. Ekene was a devil, and I hope that other rogues in uniform will realize that they will die one day. It is true that every mortal will taste death, but we should always reflect on what we will be remembered for. Wow. Recounting his ordeal in the hands of the late cop, Uwem Edem, mentioned that Ekene treated him like a suspect after receiving an 11 million naira bribe from the man he filed a case against. Does that sound like something that the Nigerian police can do? Oh, yeah. Sharing a similar story, Obonna Egbe said, "This dude will never rest in peace. After collecting 2.1 million naira from my friend's family, whose offense was buying a car. For that Zion Umar, he described the late officer as notorious, saying, notorious CSP Ekene Joseph Nwosu was a criminal that the Akwa Ibom state government was using to maim and destroy Akwa Ibomites. He had the full support of the state government." These publications highlight other reactions of Nigerians to the deaths of the late police officer. Emmanuel Etop, his girlfriend, who was learning how to drive, bashed my car. He detained my car and made sure I fixed his girlfriend's car before releasing my car. Tony Owe says Mr. Ekene Nwosu was not alone in his wicked act and callousness contra Nigerians. There are too many dead woods in the Nigerian police force, as with the Nigerian army, customs and excise, and immigration, to name but a few. What's most surprising is that many assume or believe there is neither karma nor nemesis. The many do not fear God either. For such rogue elements, their kaki is enough insurance for them to do and undo. Many unsuspecting victims have met their Waterloo in the hands of unscrupulous and rogue uniformed men and women. May God punish them all and their vineyards desolates. Covenant Etiotop says, "This same man that celebrated my elder brother's death, by Satan reject his soul." Uko Silvano says, "Truly the guy was evil. He stabbed our guy DJ Crack Nsemeke Achibong several times in the night, dropped him along the road thinking he was dead, but God saved Crack." Wow. The stories are endless. The stories are endless. Iberedem Akman says, "I recall when this man slapped Edid Young Akman Chico and Nsikak Etido in his office. I ran for my dear life." 99.1% said this man was wicked. This same man dealt with my elder brother in Ikot Akman, Abia, until I contacted a known lawyer in this state. Went to the court and he ran away from the courtroom. That was how my brother gained freedom from the fabricated stories he cooked. Usang Basi Uju says, "This man is a very terrible man. My young brother went to Uyu to purchase a car, and his fate crossed paths with this man. He and his term dehumanized my brother and collected 650,000 naira from him." The stories is endless about the activities of this man. And then you wonder, everybody's going to die someday. And like someone said, some of these guys, because of the fact that they have uniform with them, because of the fact that they have some sort of authority with guns, they do and undo. They think that they can't die because they have guns around them. If there's anything that anybody can learn from this story, is the fact that no matter what you do on earth, that ultimate price will be paid. And when that price comes, yours might be even be triple than the pain that you have caused others. But look at it. What would a policeman gain from instilling pain, anger, anguish on another person's life? What would a policeman gain? What would you gain? I for once thought in my head that when you have a policeman around, he's supposed to be your go-to guy. A policeman should make you feel safe. But what we have seen over the years in Nigeria is a policeman makes you precipitate. And quite frankly, even me, when I'm driving on the road and I see a policeman, I tend to snap a bit. Like, I tend to become paranoid. Even me as a journalist who have everything complete, I tend to get scared a little bit before I get out of it and then become bold, because of the number of stories that we've heard about how police treat human beings in this country. When will this stop? And there are people like this that exist in this country that are going around. And it's always, have you noticed that it's always people who are anti-robbery squad? Those who lead that anti-robbery squad are they are almost those kinds of people. They're always wicked, dehumanizing people, treating people in such disdain, disrespecting the law consistently, continually. It's always them. The other one that happened in Anambra, is it not the same thing? Head of anti-robbery squad, Kinewa. And we have government who know these people exist, don't do anything about it. Governor Umoyeno is the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Would he say he does not know about this man? Would he say he doesn't know about this man? It's been there for 2 years. So what did he do? It's unfortunate, really. It's unfortunate. And this video, I hope other policemen tend to learn from this attitude and from this lifestyle. And every time I think about these things, is it that these guys don't go for training? And how much training do they give them? So much so that we will not have any issues relating to dehumanizing people. The police is supposed to protect people, make people feel safe, but they have done the exact opposite in the Nigerian context. Something has to be done. And if there's anyone, anywhere, I want you to put in the comment, if there's a policeman in your locality, in your local government, in your state, that you have seen or you have heard is notorious, put their name on this video comments. Me, I will follow up on the person. At least I can call it a few persons who can give me the contact of a few persons that can get me the person. There's no police in Nigeria that I cannot get the contact. No police head of anti-Kidewa that I cannot get their contact. It's not possible. So if you can, if there's anybody whom you know or you have heard that is moving mad, please put their name in these comments. Don't bother putting their number, just put their name. If you can get the name and the location, that's all I need. All right, we need to get these things, smoothened out. Really, we need to get the things smoothed out, because the next time an NSAS campaign is going to happen, I'm not sure we're going to have a Nigerian police force. The only way is to forestall it, to stop it from ever happening again. All right, I appreciate you. See you in the next one.